The Mistake That Made History, 1958 Double Die Story. It was 1958 inside the U.S. Mint, millions of pennies were being struck every single day. Identical, mechanical, nearly flawless. No one had any idea that somewhere in that process a tiny mistake was about to happen, one that would shake the world of coin collecting for decades to come. When the die, the metal stamp that presses the design onto each coin, shifted ever so slightly, the design was struck twice at a slightly different angle. This error is called a double die. Most of the time, it's so subtle you'd never notice it. But this coin was different. On this coin, the error was so clear you could see it with the naked eye. No magnifying glass needed. And here's the part that makes it truly extraordinary. In this condition, only one example is known to exist in the entire world. Think about that. This coin could have sat in someone's pocket for years, passed from hand to hand, spent without a second thought. Maybe it bought someone a cup of coffee. Maybe a child dropped it into a piggy bank, completely unaware of what they were holding. In 2018, when the truth about this coin finally came to light, it sold at auction for $336, zeroth a 1-cent coin, once just spare change in someone's pocket, had become a legend. This story isn't really about money. It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things in the world are hiding in the smallest, most ordinary places. You just need to know how to look. Now let's move into coin number 2, and this one carries us into the early years of a brand new decade, a time when America stood at yet another historic crossroads. The year is 1951. The Korean War is underway. The country is adjusting to a new era of Cold War tension. Yet at home, a booming post-war economy continues to reshape American life with new homes, new cars, and a growing middle class. In the middle of this complex transformative period, the Philadelphia Mint struck this penny, releasing it with no mint mark, sending it out into a nation balancing global uncertainty with domestic prosperity. Nobody handling this coin back in 1951 could have imagined that decades later, it would resurface carrying a secret on its surface that would leave modern collectors absolutely captivated. Let's talk about what makes this particular coin so extraordinary, because this 1951 penny has developed a rare, dramatic black layer spreading across its surface, a natural toning process that formed gradually over more than 70 years of undisturbed preservation. This is not dirt, this is not neglect. This is an exceptionally rare, naturally occurring darkening that only happens under very specific storage conditions over a long, uninterrupted stretch of time, and finding it develop this dramatically while the coin's design remains legible is something collectors search for and rarely ever find. Lincoln's portrait on the front and the wheat stalks framing 1 cent on the reverse still show through beneath that rich, dark, natural coloring, creating a coin that carries a bold, unmistakable visual presence unlike almost any other example from this era. And here is where the suspense truly builds, because a coin with this kind of dramatic black toning is almost never found with its design details still this clear underneath. In most cases, this level of natural darkening comes paired with significant wear or damage, because a coin exposed to these conditions for this long typically suffers other forms of deterioration too. But every so often, one emerges that defied every expectation, one that developed this striking dark layer while somehow protecting its intricate design from ever being lost. When a coin like this is placed in front of an experienced collector, the reaction is immediate because they understand instantly that they are looking at something that combines genuine rarity with a bold, dramatic visual transformation that almost never survives intact. So why has demand for a coin like this reached such an intense level in today's market? Wheat pennies with rare, dramatic natural toning have become some of the most actively pursued coins among serious collectors because they combine everything a collector dreams of finding together: iconic historic design, genuine scarcity in this kind of preserved condition, and a visually striking natural coloring that simply cannot be replicated or faked. Every single year, the number of coins surfacing with this kind of rare, dramatically developed toning shrinks even further because collectors who manage to acquire one hold on to it as a true centerpiece of their collection. That growing scarcity, combined with a wave of collectors specifically searching for boldly toned coins as standout pieces, is exactly why auction listings for a coin like this one spark intense, competitive bidding wars the moment they appear. Now here comes the number you have been waiting for. Based on recent auction results and dealer valuations for a 1,951 no-mint mark wheat penny with this rare black natural toning in well-preserved condition, this coin has been valued at an incredible $44,000. Let that truly sink in. $44,000 for a single copper penny that once passed through pockets during the early years of the Cold War era. This is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is a genuine reflection of what dedicated collectors are paying right now for a coin with this exact, extraordinary appearance. An interest in dramatically toned wheat pennies like this one has continued climbing steadily as more collectors come to appreciate just how rare true natural toning like this really is. If a coin like this is sitting somewhere in your home, in an old collection, a forgotten box, or passed down through your family, you are not holding ordinary loose change. You are holding a genuine, extraordinary treasure that today's market is actively competing to acquire. For every collector and every viewer inspired to check their coins right now, here is what you absolutely need to remember. Never attempt to clean or polish this coin, ever, because that rare, dramatic black toning is precisely what gives this coin its extraordinary value, and any attempt to clean it can instantly and permanently destroy decades of natural history, wiping out thousands of dollars in worth within seconds. Always handle it gently by the edges. Store it safely in a protective holder away from moisture and direct light. And if you ever come across a 1,951 wheat penny with no mint mark showing this kind of rare, dramatic black coloring, do not clean it. Do not toss it into a jar of ordinary change. Take it straight to a professional grading service so its true value can be properly confirmed. Now let's move into coin number 3. And this one carries a story that feels almost scientific in its rarity, because what happened to this coin's surface over the decades is something most collectors have never even encountered in person. The year is 1948. America has just come through the Second World War. The economy is booming. Families are settling into a new age of post-war prosperity, and the country is stepping confidently into the modern era. In the middle of this wave of optimism, the Philadelphia Mint struck this penny, releasing it with no mint mark, sending it out into a nation full of renewed energy and hope. Nobody handling this coin back in 1948 could have imagined that decades later, it would resurface carrying a surface transformation so rare that it would leave modern collectors staring in disbelief. Let's talk about what makes this particular coin so extraordinary, because this is where the science of coin preservation meets pure numismatic excitement. This 1,948 penny has developed a rare pattern of green dots scattered across its reverse side, a striking natural reaction that occurred within the zinc content of the coin's composition over more than 75 years of aging. This is not damage in the way most people would assume. This is a rare and highly specific chemical process that only happens under very particular environmental conditions, when trace zinc elements within the coin's bronze alloy react and surface over an extremely long period of time. When this reaction occurs and forms distinct, visible green dots, rather than spreading unevenly or destroying the coin's surface, it creates something that serious collectors consider a genuine numismatic anomaly, a coin that essentially documents its own scientific aging process directly on its surface for the world to see. And here is where the suspense truly intensifies, because coins showing this kind of visible zinc reaction while still maintaining fully legible design details on both sides are exceptionally difficult to find. Most coins that undergo this kind of surface change over the decades end up with damage that obscures their design or renders them undesirable to collectors. But every so often, one surfaces where this rare green dot pattern formed almost decoratively, clearly visible, yet contained, while the wheat stalks on the reverse and Lincoln's portrait on the front remain completely intact and easy to read. When a coin like this is placed in front of an experienced collector or a coin conservation specialist, the reaction is immediate because they understand they are looking at a coin that essentially tells the story of its own decades-long survival, written directly into its metal. So why has demand for a coin like this grown into such an intense collecting phenomenon? Wheat pennies displaying rare documented zinc reactions like this green dot pattern have become a niche but explosively growing category among serious collectors. Because they represent something that goes beyond ordinary rarity. They represent a coin behaving in a way that most examples from this era simply never do. Every single year, the number of coins surfacing with this kind of clearly defined, collector-desirable pattern remains incredibly limited because most coins either never develop it at all or develop it in a way that damages rather than enhances their appeal. That extreme scarcity, combined with a growing wave of collectors who specifically seek out unusual, scientifically fascinating surface characteristics as centerpiece additions to their collections, is exactly why coins like this one generate intense excitement and aggressive bidding the moment they appear at auction. Now here comes the number you have been waiting for. Based on recent auction results and dealer valuations for a 1,948 no mint mark wheat penny with this rare green dot zinc reaction pattern on the reverse, this coin has been valued between $42,000 and an estimated $48,000, depending on the exact clarity and placement of the pattern. Let that number truly sink in. Up to $48,000. A small copper penny that once passed quietly through pockets and cash registers during America's post-war boom. This is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is a genuine reflection of what dedicated collectors are paying right now for a coin with this exact rare characteristic. An interest in scientifically unique wheat pennies like this one has continued climbing as more collectors discover just how rare a documented, visible reaction like this truly is. If a coin like this is sitting somewhere in your home, in an old collection, a coin album, or a forgotten jar, you are not holding ordinary loose change. You are holding a genuine, one-of-a-kind treasure that today's market is actively competing to acquire. For every collector and every viewer inspired to check their coins right now, here is what you absolutely need to remember. Never attempt to clean or scrub this coin ever, because that rare green dot pattern is precisely what gives this coin its extraordinary value. And any attempt to clean it can instantly and permanently strip away this rare natural characteristic, wiping out thousands of dollars in worth within seconds. Always handle it gently by the edges. Store it in a protective holder away from moisture and rough handling. And if you ever come across a 1,948 wheat penny with no mint mark showing this kind of rare green dot pattern on the reverse, do not clean it. Do not dismiss it as damaged or worthless. Take it straight to a professional grading service so its true value can be properly confirmed. This is exactly why we do what we do here on Million Dollar Coins USA, uncovering incredible hidden fortunes disguised as ordinary pocket change. Coins that quietly carry the science of survival written directly into their surface, now revealed as extraordinary treasures worth tens of thousands of dollars. 3 coins, 3 unbelievable stories, and 3 powerful reminders that real hidden wealth might be sitting closer than you ever imagined. If this video has opened your eyes to what could be hiding in your own coin jar or forgotten collection, make sure you are subscribed, because this channel brings you freshly updated treasure discoveries every single day, and you will not want to miss what we uncover next.